So I'm going to be doing my whole October layout. I am like a little bit behind. I mean, I guess not. It's only November 7th, but let me go ahead and show you September and also my Halloween and autumn reading challenges. I still have some time, I think, in autumn. So a reader that I am thankful for. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one, but I finished the rest, which is really exciting. I was like, oh, I didn't finish this, but I actually read The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I forgot about that. So this is my September spread. I think it turned out really cute. I just kind of like plopped it down because I was already behind. I just did this yesterday. So I also decided that I'm going to be switching to alcohol markers. I was using colored pencils, which let me give you a little bit of a close-up. I will link both the colored pencils that I use as well as the alcohol markers that I'm using in here down below in case you prefer one or the other. And this is the new kind of color palette that I'm going with. The alcohol markers, if you write on the paper itself, they will bleed through, but if you use them on sticker paper, you won't have any issues. I will say though that like in smaller areas, like in the stars, it is really hard to get the alcohol to stay inside of the lines. So I would suggest maybe using a different kind of marker that is not alcohol based, or like I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to continue using the glitter pens that I have been using. Where did I use them at? Here. I think it looks super duper fun in person. You can really see the sparkle. But yeah, I am going to go ahead and start with my October layouts. My journal is getting pretty thick. Let's go ahead and go over everything that I have pulled out first so I can get everything kind of like organized. And I'll go just clockwise. So first thing that I have over here is a ton of different box sizes. It's probably an excessive amount. These are all from my shop and on removable matte paper. I did also print out my book covers. I printed these on removable matte paper as well. I will link some down below. And I just sized these to fit in my stickers that I'll show you in a second. So I have all of the books that I read, listened to, my favorite book of the month. And then this, I feel like I always print everything out way bigger than I mean to, but Haunting Adeline was my favorite book of the month. It's like, it's controversial even in my own head. And then I do have some just fan art here for different things. And then I just was swatching some glitter pens on the bottom. I had some things that I could have put in this space, but I was like, it was too much thought already put into that, if I'm being honest with you. Up here, I have everything for like a little, like I want to do like almost like a beginning page where it's just like decorative possibly, or maybe with like stats on it. I haven't really decided, so we're going to come up with that on the fly. So I have this October sticker. I was going to lay this all down yesterday, so I like picked this up off the page. This is from my shop. And then I was like, oh wait, I should probably film this. So I just stuck it on a sticker sheet that I just like pulled the sticker bits off, and I have that ready. I kind of really want to use this journaling card because I love this art by Kitnish Jess. I think it is so stinking pretty. And then that was kind of like my theme for this like colorway, I guess. And I just pulled some stickers I thought kind of match the same kind of vibes. Also, I have, you're going to see it throughout, I'm wearing Christmas stuff because in my eyes, it's now Christmas. So I have this Pip Stickers sheet, Ghost Town. I think that kind of matches color wise. I have some Marigonal Suli, I'm not sure if I ever say that right, sticker sheets. I have this clear one, and then I have some of the stickers left over from September. Thought it'd be like a good like transition if I could plop a couple of these in here. And then I have a couple of sheets from my shop. I have Creepy Treats 1 and 2 that I have used some already, and also Halloween 2. I also do have a large deco sheet for this one, but I already used that in my bullet journal, and it's all good. We're just gonna mix and match and see what happens. And then as far as what color alcohol markers I picked, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them for you. So this is from the 80 set on Amazon. This is the fine and the broad. I think that I found the like brush tip ones as well if you prefer that, but I haven't tested them, and I think they only come in a 100 pack. I'm not 100%. Maybe they come in 80, but it's not the same colors. I don't know. Should probably get those in the future just to show them. So the first color that I thought would go well with this is blue gray, which is BG3. So it's just a blue tone gray. 69, which is Prussian, or yeah, Prussian blue. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure. Kind of matches this color here and some other tones in there. 147, which is pale lilac. kind of trying to match his face, which is kind of like a pinkish purple color. I went more on the pinky because a lot of the purples, I am using a purple in the like actual like spreads. I could pull this in, but I kind of wanted to go different vibes for this specific like 2-page spread. And then I also have 107 Sand. So as you can see, that's kind of like the vibe I'm going for. So that is the 4 colors that I picked for that first page. And then for the, like the pages, this October is my best reading month and I don't even care about Halloween, but I have so many books that I was like, okay, spooky season, let's do it. And then I like dabbled in like other things where I was like, okay, I need some like break up the spookiness. Am I like a spooky girl now? I don't really know. Like I'm kind of always spooked. But anyways, so it's gonna be like multiple pages. And then I was like looking at my Christmas like TBR and I was like, oh, she's like kind of small. Like I want to listen to or read all of those like Amazon exclusive ones that are coming out. But otherwise I'm like, I don't really know like what I'm even needing to do. Okay, so then for the like going through and doing like all of the books. So I have some things again from Marigona Sully. So just a bunch of different sticker sheets from them. And again, this one doesn't really match as much, but we might pull that one out because it's not giving the same vibe, but we'll just leave it just in case. And then I also have this one, just cute vampire. I have this sheet from my shop, which is Crystal Witch version 1. And then oh, there's another one of those. It's like a different version. I also have this from Sticky Club I thought kind of went. And this from Pip Stickers that I thought kind of went. And then I also have this random sticker from Hannah that says Let's Go Goals that I thought I might try and shove in there somewhere. I also did pull out my Halloween washi tapes because I might use these between some of the spreads. I have just been swatching these on little cards that I got on Amazon, and I just put a bunch on here, and then I just use the rolls at work, and then I don't need to have a bazillion washi rolls sitting around. Let's go in. Oh, I also have these stickers here from Simply Gilded. I'm never going to run out of these. I sent a bunch to Kitnish Jazz. If any of my friends IRL need any, let me know because I have enough for the whole world. And then, like I said, I am going to be using 77, which is pale blue, which is definitely looks like a purple, and WG3, which is warm gray. There's this color from Ohuhu that, I think that's how you pronounce that. This is warm gray 3 that is called like brown black and it's like a peach color. So it always just throws me off. And then number 7, which is Cosmos. Again, I was going to do an orange, but I put the orange in here and I was going to do the purple here, but I feel like the vibes are vibing, and if I feel like I need an orange, I'll just go pull one, but I kind of like this vibe that's going on currently. So that's everything that I pulled for the second part of the spreads. Should I have done this separately in 2 different videos? Probably. Are we going to regret it? I don't know. I have this here, which is Award 2. I've used all of them. Obviously, we're going to be using the October one. I have DNF because I did DNF 2 books this month. I don't know how I'm going to mark it, but we're going to mark it in there. I read enough of them that I still count them towards reading them. It's kind of like if I read like 2 chapters, I probably won't count like a DNF towards read, but if I read like a third plus of a book, I'm probably going to count it because that's like the length of like a graphic novel or a novella, and I would count those. So you make your own rules. Book V2, which is my favorite book size. Audiobook V1. I love these, as you saw in my last spread. I also brought out the large months version 2 for this October. I also brought out the Reads sampler to do a little top kind of section of that. I brought out Bar 2. I like this for audiobooks for some reason, even though it's like, I don't know. It'd also be cool if like you were tracking like how far you are. Like for me, I'm working on like the Stephen King book. I would literally draw like the world's smallest sliver. Stars V2. I may need another sheet of this, another book V2, and then a small month V1, which I did use last month, which I will have to like go and find all of this information. And I marked every day that I read. I also have that marked in my everyday spread up here. But I feel like this is fun just to have it like on the page as well. And I feel like coloring it in with the alcohol markers is very satisfying. This I used the glitter gel pens, but yeah, so I have a bunch of supplies here. I have some mini scissors from Martha Stewart. Those are like one of my pride and joys. Also, this is another pride and joy because I can't find these any other way. The Cricut tweezers, love those. I have 2 of these like really thin Pilot sort of metallic pens in the silver and the purple. I have this jelly roll pen, which is really fun. It's like a transparent glitter jelly roll. I have a mechanical pencil in case I need it. I have the Ohuhu, like the blender marker for any mistakes I may have, which I also grabbed my jelly roll then, my white one. I have my Micron 2 for writing things. And then I also have this Fox and Pip glitter ruler for things that I need rulers for. So I had full intentions of doing this as a talk through, but it became very chaotic very quickly. So I decided to go ahead and do this as a voiceover. And yeah, so let me know if you do prefer a voiceover or if you want me to try next month to talk through it. But let's go ahead and start talking about what the heck was going on with my thought process of putting everything into this spread. So I wanted to do a page that kind of was like the front of the month so that I could honestly use more pages in this book. I feel like at the rate that I'm going, I'm only going to end up using about a third of this book, which is fine. But I think for next year, I'm going to focus more on doing fun spreads for different books that are more pages versus just doing like a 2-page spread per month. So on this front cover page, I did want to highlight this really gorgeous journaling card that I have from my shop with the Kittenish Jess Screamathon art on it. I thought it was really fun for spooky times. And I also wanted to put the days that I read, which is such a fun way to mark this. I did use a small calendar from my shop and color it in with those alcohol markers, which I will have linked down below. I also used my book stickers, which I use book 2 throughout this video. It's my favorite of all of the sizes because I feel like you still get to see some of the details of the cover, but it's not like too big that you can only put like 3 on the page. So also use some washi tape that is more spooky season appropriate. And then I decided with the rest of this room on the page, I wanted to do my DNFs for the month, which normally I feel like I don't have enough to do like multiple, a month. But this month I really gave up on 2 books, which I don't like doing, but I don't like just pushing through books because I feel like it'll just put me in a slump. So the 2 books that I did DNF this month, the first one that I DNF'd was Haunted Ever After, which is the Boneyard Key series. It is book 1. I read 48%. That's why I still counted it as a book read because it's still quite a bit of a book. I then found out just yesterday actually that the reason why I DNF'd it was the male main character was giving me the ick and like stressing me out, but I guess it was like a plot point. So I feel like my DNF isn't like, not that it's not accurate because I was really just getting super annoyed, but it was like a part of the plot. So yeah, there's that. But I was like really interested in the spooky part of this book. I just feel like the rest of it was kind of a little bit lackluster. I feel like the romance was a little insta love for my liking. But you can't win them all. And I also DNF'd what is it called? The Courting of Bristol Keats. Did I do that this month or last month? I guess it was this month. I got to about 40% in this book and DNF'd it, which is really sad because I was really anticipating it. This was an ARC, an advanced reader copy, and I think it might have been an audiobook actually, and I DNF'd it, which I feel like for me to DNF an audiobook, I have to really be not interested at all. Basically, this one was a romantasy, whereas the other one is just a like romance, like a spooky romance. Very like lighthearted, Hallmark movie-esque, but The Courting of Bristol Keats was very romantasy, but I feel like they were just trying to throw every single trope into one book, and I feel like there was too much going on that I was like every time something happened, I'd be like, okay. Like, I don't know. It was just very eye roll after a while, which is sad because I liked the premise and I'm like, wanted to know what happened, but I just feel like there was way too many tropes going on. It just felt like that's what the book was like, just how many tropes can we throw into one book? I did end up decorating with all these little stickers. I'm not like 1,000% happy with the way that this turned out as far as like the journaling card with like the little stickers around it, but it's not enough for me to want to go back in and redo it. I do have a little box there next to the calendar where I am going to be writing the total books that I read this month, as well as writing a little note. This month, the note will be about how many books I read, which was quite a bit. I did read a lot of graphic novels, but I feel like even the amount of novels that I read was quite impressive for my reading like goals and the amount that I normally read. So I think that this little spread did turn out cute, but like I said, it's not my favorite of them all. Also, the alcohol markers, I think the colors of that I picked turned out really, really cute. So I'm very happy with the way that those turned out. And I think the only thing that I would change about this is probably the large journaling card. I feel like maybe I should have colored the page, which you will see me do in not the next 2 pages, but the next one I colored the page, which was really fun. I don't know if I would be able to do that in my future planner because it does have dates, but also maybe I just don't care. And I think coloring the page is also quite therapeutic and fun. And then just putting a large graphic on it was kind of the vibe. So I also did put these little colored lines that matched, and I am going to write the title, I think, or maybe the percent that I DNF'd like in there as well. I haven't decided what I want to put in there. I use those little metallic pens to add little stars throughout, which you will see me do on every single page, both the silver and the purple. I did stars and then little X's because I think those resemble cute little teeny tiny stars. So now you can see me going in with the alcohol markers and coloring in all of the days that I did read this month, which was quite a bit. I feel like doing this monthly and having it on the monthly spread is going to make me want to read every single day so I could color in the whole entire thing. This is where I am testing to see if it's better to write and then color on top, or color and then write with the micron on top of it, which as you can see, that was the winner because otherwise it smudged. Now going through and cutting out everything, which is kind of therapeutic. I do have a silhouette and I do own a sticker shop, so I could definitely just have these cut for me and not fussy cut them. But honestly, this brings me back to the beginning of my shop where I would sit with these exact, I don't actually know if they're these exact scissors, but these exact scissors. Like, I don't know if they're physically the exact same ones, but they're like the same brand, style, shape, everything. Would just sit and cut out stickers and sell them on Facebook. So that's where my shop started. That was over 10 years ago now, which is wild to think. So now we're going to go into my main Mamma Jamma spread, and then I do have 2 more 2-page spreads to show y'all. So this one here is going to be kind of the main meat and potatoes. So I have October reads, which the October is from a new sheet in my shop of Large Months version 2, which are all in script. Then the reads is from the read sampler, which has a bunch of different reads as you saw. Then I'm going to put all of my audiobooks on the bottom, and I love these audiobook covers. I think that they're so fun to put the audiobook in because I did not read the physical book, and it easily shows and differentiates the books that I read versus the books that I listened to, which is also reading. I'm definitely in that camp that audiobooks are reading, and anyone who says otherwise is trash, in my opinion. So I went ahead and put all of the audiobooks that I listened to. I think only 2 of them were full-length novels, I think. I guess Kiki's Delivery Service is like kind of, it's not a novella, but it's not like super long, so I don't know. But The Fine Print is also a full-length novel. I did go ahead and do a couple of little boxes with different graphics for me to write about the books that I wanted to have a little bit of a say in. Like I said, I think in my next year's journal, I do want to go in and do more dedicated spreads for different books. And I think also doing a video for one book that I read, and then I can like talk about it more and also put down my thoughts more fan art. And I also want to get more into, which I did with the next spread for Haunting Adeline, doing more items that are not necessarily fan art, but just like things that remind me of the book. And I think that that would be really fun to do. I think this year is definitely just kind of learning what I like and getting that like all situated, and then next year being able to have a little bit more of a hold on exactly what I would like to do in my journal. So I do have 3 novels that I did read up here. One is Butcher and Blackbird, which I am going to do like a little segment where I can write some things. I might put some quotes in, which I really did like this book. I thought it was like, it's weird and like kind of spooky and a little bit gory, but it was like fun in a way. So it feels weird saying that. I think it's because I read a lot of romance and fantasy, but I feel like horror readers and things like that get the like lure of that, I guess. So I went ahead and put a box in there for that. I didn't really want to write anything for the Pumpkin Spice Cafe or the Boyfriend. I really did like the Boyfriend, and the Pumpkin Spice Cafe was definitely a miss for me. I feel like they all just needed a bunch of therapy, and that was just the whole entire book. But it had definite cute vibes, and I feel like the atmosphere was really fun for fall. I really want to read the Christmas one, so whenever Hannah finishes the second and then the Christmas one, I'm going to see if it's like able to read by itself, or if I have to read the second one to read the third one. Might be something I look into for audiobook next year and just have it for like an easy listen, but overall it wasn't my favorite. The Boyfriend was really good. I gave it 5 stars because if a thriller like totally catches me by surprise and I can read it in one day, it's going to be a 5 star. If I didn't expect the ending and I was kind of shook, it's a 5 star. I don't care if it's a Frida and it's not like the most amazingly written book in the whole entire world. It was a 5 star. Other things on here, like I said, I listened to the fine print. That one, it wasn't like a 5 star read, but I really liked the atmosphere as well as Zara. I thought she was a really cool character, and I also just do like the idea of the kind of like Disney theme park type situation. And Kiki, obviously, like I feel is a classic, and I have never watched or read Kiki's Delivery Service before, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I do think that the audiobook was a really fun way to listen if you want something really quick and easy to have a listen to. It was a really adorable, and I'm kind of sad that there's not more to Kiki's story, because I would listen to 100 hours of her little journey in her life, because I think that she's adorable, and Kiki and Gigi for life, y'all. So putting in all of my little sparkle bits, and then we are going to go right on in to my next spread. As far as like the other audiobooks go, none of them were that great. As you can see, they were all like fine. If you want something super Hallmarky, I would recommend the Mary Kate Andrews book, like a Hallmark Christmas. I am like a huge Mary Kate Andrews fangirl. I think she is like the grandma I wish I had, and I will read everything that she puts out eventually, and all of her Christmas books as they come out. So now we're getting into my next spread, which this was such a surprise because so many people were like, oh, are you going to read Haunting Adeline? And I was like, no, that sounds way too spooky for me. And all I heard was about the like deep dark smut scenes, and I was pretty like off-putted by those. And I was like, is that like the whole thing? Because that's all I hear about it. And I thoroughly enjoyed this book. There was obviously a lot that was very like jarring, triggering, and just kind of like real messed up, but there is like so many plots in this, and I feel like I really do like books where there's a lot going on, like almost like different storylines. I feel like this really had like 3 or 4 storylines going on at once of different things that like were happening and plots, and you kind of wanted to know who done it, and also there's like it left on a cliffhanger, and it was quite long, but I read it in a couple of days and was obsessed. And then I was like, Jessica, read this ASAP, and she had already read the point 5, which is called, I actually don't remember what it's called. It's whatever the like fair is called. I hadn't read it, and I'm reading it right now, and it is 100,000 times more gory, and like I had to put it down because I was getting lightheaded from all of the gore, and like it's also a lot more spicy than this book is, and this book is pretty spicy, which I don't really like spice. I'm not like reading it for the spice. I'm reading it for the other plot, which doesn't really make a ton of sense, but you know, here we are. You like what you like. I don't understand it. It was definitely a an unexpected read for me, and I did give it, I think, a 4-star at first, but honestly I've thought about this book every single day, and it left on a cliffhanger that I don't even want to read anything else. Like, I feel like everything else I'm like, okay, but what's happening in Haunting Adeline? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what happens next? And I've heard that the second book is a little bit more like stressful, triggering, and that I might be more like stressed. I also think that this book was definitely like a borderline, like I probably shouldn't have read it for my mental health, but I was already too deep into it before I got to those parts. But check your trigger warnings, because this one has a full-blown stinking list. But yeah, if you're going to read these, I would definitely recommend reading the 0.5 first, because it's just the order, and I just didn't know that it was a thing. But if you don't take anything away from this spread because you're like, Haunting Adeline, Andrea, you're wild. I know I'm wild. I understand. But I really do like the way that the like coloring of the whole page worked. It did bleed through, but I just went ahead and used a double-sided glue tape to stick the pages together, and I think it's really fun. So again, you don't take anything out of Haunting Adeline. You think I'm wild. I think I'm wild too. But I really think that that's going to be something that I implicate into my spreads next year, is coloring the whole page and then sticking a bunch of stuff on top of it. I think it is really fun. And honestly, I'm probably not going to use the 200, 300 pages that are in my journal. So if I have to glue one page together to get like a really cool effect, y'all, I'm gonna. But I love the way that that turned out, and I cannot wait to read the second which is Hunting Adeline. You know, I'm stressed, but I want to know what happens. That's what I feel like I'm in a lot of books for. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to quit because I want to know what happens. But also sometimes I just look it up and then I'm like, okay, I didn't need to read that but I'm here and I'm listening. So then we're going to move on to my graphic novel spread, which y'all, read a lot of graphic novels this month, and a lot of them were like ones that I had been putting off reading until spooky season. And then I did have some advanced reader copies that I wanted to get through before they archived. So I did go ahead and read the Goosebumps book, the new graphic novel. It was super cute. It gave me mad nostalgic vibes, and I did really like the art style. I also went ahead and read Sheets finally, which was so good. I would recommend that to everyone and anyone. It was sad. It had funny parts. The art style was really fun. I loved the colors. It reminded me of like the 70s and 80s, more towards the 80s. And then I also did read, what was that one called? I can't read it. It's so tiny. Third Shift Society. And I liked it. If you're super into like police kind of dramas, or like, I guess detective dramas, I think that you would really like it. But for me, it wasn't like a huge hit, but it was cute. So if I ever saw it at like half price books or like used or a super discount, I'd probably pick up the second one, but I'm not like itching to go out and get them like a lot of the graphic novels that I read. I am. The next two on the bottom are both arcs. The one on the right was fine. I think it's called Soma. It was kind of like not superhero-y, but kinda, but not superhero. It was like a badass superhero, if that makes sense. Like they're not even superhero, but like saving the world kind of situation. And then the one on the left, I don't remember, I think it's History of Everything or something like that. I don't remember. Like, if you want to know, let me know. But I don't think it comes out till next year, but it was so good. It was like coming of age friendship story. And then on the right, I have The Deep Dark, the Seance. This is real bad. I can't. The Seance Tea Party, and Firelight Apprentice, which I definitely recommend all of those. The Deep Dark was kind of spooky, but I loved it. And the ending, I was like, oh, dang. The Firelight Apprentice is by the same author who did Garlic and the Vampire and Garlic and the Witch, so I was really anticipating that. I got an arc of it, and I also got a physical copy of it already, and it was really, really cute. It was very YA feeling, but so is Garlic and the Vampire and Garlic and the Witch, but I thought it was very, very cute. And the Seance Tea Party, the art was fantastic. It was so beautiful, so perfect, and I liked the story a lot. That little flip back, I was going in and putting in my favorite book of the month for my favorite book spread just before I lost that sticker, because honestly, you should see my desk right now. It is a total mess. And now I'm going in, I went and grabbed my markers and I'm going to do spines of colors that I think kind of match the book. I was going to just use the colors that I pulled out for the spread, which I don't know if I necessarily need them in the future. I might just grab all of my markers and then when I need them for spines or whatever else, I can just use them versus having a theme for the month or coloring in the like the monthly days that I read. But I think all of the colors that I chose look pretty good as the spines. I think it adds a little bit of a like 3D effect. And yeah, I also went in and then colored in the days that were not in the month just so that they weren't blank. And I think that that added something to that as well. So I fully intended, probably I mentioned it already in the voiceover, to do that as a talk through, but that took me like 2+ hours to do all of this. So let's go ahead and give you a little flippy through. So this, my friends, was September, but October, she's thick. So we have just like a little graphic card over here. This is from my shop. It was free with all orders placed, I believe, in September. I have some stickers here, some washi there, etc., etc. These are all of the days I read in October. I'm going to double check them with my planner, but I'm pretty sure this is about correct. In here, I'm just going to put in a little blurb about how great October was for reading and how many books I read. And then these are the 2 DNFs that I had. I'm going to go ahead and put in a little blurb about why I DNF'd them and what percentage I did DNF them at. Then for my October read section, this is a 6-page spread. So it just has October reads on the top, which is from my shop. And then I found some fan art, which you will see throughout, and kind of just plopped and cut that in. I printed it on matte sticker paper. These are all of the audiobooks that I listened to. The only one that was a full, I mean, I guess technically these both were the only ones that were novels, and then these were all like shorter stories. This one was still, these two are still like over an hour. I think these ones might have been under an hour or like an hour and a half. I'm not totally sure. This one was quite long. And then I have just some highlights up here from 3 of the books that I like the most on this page, which is the Fine Print, as well as Kiki's Delivery Service and Butcher and Blackbird. Here are just the 3 other novels that I read besides the one that I'm going to show you on the next page. Did read Butcher and Blackbird, which I did do like a little thing here because I did really love that. And then Pumpkin Spice Cafe and The Boyfriend. Then we have a whole page for Haunting Adeline. I think, like, I'm still like in disbelief that I liked this as much as I did. I just read it because I was like, okay, I want to know like the tea on like how it is. I think I'm going to either put a quote here or maybe print out some other kind of graphic that reminds me of this. I'm not sure what I would print out, but I was thinking that that's a pretty big spot. Then I'm going to put in some of my thoughts, and then I think I'm going to put something like Little Mouse related down here because I think that would be a good reminder of that. And I showed you how I did this. I just colored it and then double taped the side because it did bleed through, but I think it looks really, really cool. Like, kind of obsessed. I almost wish I would have done this all black as well, but it would have took a little bit more pre-planning and like just colored the outlines of these black, so then it would have just been the boxes that were white. I think that would have been pretty cool, but that is like for the future. Maybe I'll do that for Hunting Adeline if I like it as much as Haunting. And then I have a 2-page spread for all of the graphic novels that I read in October, which was quite a bit. I think there's 8 total that I read. I think this turned out really cute as well. I got to use some of these like bigger stickers because all of them could have fit on here, but I just feel like it would be odd to start November, or I'm probably actually going to go ahead and place my winter and Christmas bucket lists like I did with the autumn and Halloween here. I'm probably going to do that on the next page and then move into November, which will be a nice like break in between all of the witchy spreads. So that is everything for the October setup. I think it turned out really cute. I will go in then and write in all my thoughts and feels, but I want to take my time on that and kind of chill and vibe. But yeah, this took a while. The stickers definitely made it easier because there was a lot of, you'll see like pulling things up and putting things back down again, which would have been nearly impossible if I was just like writing boxes on. It would have been a little bit, I guess I could use pencil, but just makes the steps a little bit more difficult. So that's everything. I hope you like this video. Let me know if you want more of these. Let me know also if you want a video of me doing my Christmas and winter spreads, that'll be like a quicker video. And also if you want a setup video, or even just maybe a video that's like a setup video, but also a video that's like what I bought for my setup or what I have for my setup for next year, I could do that as well. So that's everything. Thank y'all for watching, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.